Getting grizzly. Hey guys, this is Nod Lammers of Invoked 101. Welcome back. It's been a hot minute since I sat down in front of the camera. Actually, it's only really been a couple days. We just filmed. But anyways, this is a brand new deck. I've never played this deck before. I just got this deck in the mail. There are a couple cards that I'm missing simply because I forgot to order them, which is a little unfortunate, and I'll talk about them when I get there. But the whole main deck is here, and it's only 2 cards out of the extra. So, and I'll just mention them, and I will hopefully put them up on screen when I get there. So. But yeah, this is Agents. This is a deck that I've actually had sitting in my bulk for a really long time, and I decided, I was like, you know what, I want to finish up this deck. So I went online, I went on TCG Player, and I ordered it all from one guy, and it showed up pretty quickly. So yeah, before we get into the deck profile, if you feel like supporting the channel, down in the description, there's a couple links you can use to directly support the channel, including joining the Discord, where you can join our tournaments, which we have every Friday. So. With that said, I'm going to set the spells, the traps, and the extra deck off to the side, and we're going to get right into the main deck. Zoom in just a touch as we normally do. Whoa, we're back on the Invoked 101 map, the classic one with the zones. The first monster we play, most of this deck is 3-ofs. The first monster we play is, of course, 3 Master Hyperion. This is the boss monster of the deck, Master Hyperion. However I pronounce it changes with every time I say it. So, this guy is really cool. You can special summon him by banishing an agent from your hand, field, or graveyard, and then once per turn, you can banish a fairy from your graveyard to target a card on the field and pop it. And then if Sanctuary is on the field, you get to pop 2 cards instead. So, very cool card. I like 3. You don't have to play 3. He is kind of bricky. If you want to play only 2, perfectly fine. I play 3 because he's super easy to summon, and he is very searchable, and he's, like I mentioned, he's very useful. He's also 2700, which is very nice, especially for a deck like this. So that's him. That is the boss monster, and what's really cool is he has like the solar system in his hand, which is kind of cool because all the agents are different planets. Setting that off to the side, we of course have the Stratos of the deck, Agent of Mystery Earth. Earth is on normal summon. You get to add the agent monster from your deck to your hand, except Earth. And then if Sanctuary is on the field, you can add Hyperion from your deck instead, which is really cool. She's a level 2 light fairy tuner, which is very nice. So she does come up. The level 2 is slightly relevant, but mainly because you can synchro her with a Mystical Shine Ball, and you can make the card I showed earlier, Herald. So it's not the most common thing, but it is a thing you can do. Speaking of the Mystic Shine Balls, 3 Venus. Venus is really good. She's one of the better ones. Level 3, which is useful for another card. And then she's also able to special summon level 2s, which is very good. Not only for Link plays, which we only play 1 Link in the deck, but also just for Synchro plays as well. As well as getting fairies in the graveyard for Master Hyperion. The next up, I'm doing these by level. Level 4, Jupiter. Jupiter is really interesting, and he's more of a setup card. This is definitely more of a, which is really weird to say because I don't think this deck really does have combo plays, but he's definitely more of a combo piece than anything else for the deck. He says once per turn, you can remove from play 1 the agent monster in your graveyard. To select the face-up light fairy monster you control, the selected monster gains 800 attack until the end of the end phase. While Sanctuary is in the sky, once per turn, while Sanctuary is in the sky is on the field, once per turn you can discard a fairy, select one of your removed from play fairies, and special summon it. So this is really cool, especially when in combo with the next card, because what this allows you to do is access, it can allow you to access Venus super easily while also giving yourself a tuner. So this deck does have one other tuner, and that is my personal favorite agent. I think this guy's great. Agent of Entropy, Uranus. And Uranus is amazing. It's a level 5 dark tuner. It can special summon itself if Sanctuary is face up on the field, which I don't believe activates. And then it says, once per turn, you can send the agent monster from your deck to the graveyard. If you do, this card's level becomes the level of the monster sent to the graveyard by this effect, which is really useful because what you can do is you can use Entropy to special summon himself, then Entropy effect to send Venus, use normal summon Jupiter effect to banish Venus, Jupiter effect again while Sanctuary is on the field, because clearly it was if you special summon Entropy, and then Venus will get specialed off of Jupiter, and then you can Mystical Shine Ball, and you can Synchro for anywhere between 5, so that'd be 5, and then plus 3, you can make 8 with that, and which is an important thing you can do, and you still have a 1800 beater on the field with Jupiter. So it lets you swarm the board essentially with him and miracles and entropy do a lot for the deck. That's it for the core monsters. Real quick, I guess these kind of count. I showed them for a second. 3 Shine Balls. I think if you're playing this deck, you have to play the 3 Shine Balls. And these are your main synchro materials, in my opinion. I think that these are so much easier to synchro with than the agents themselves, aside from like the tuners. These are the next best thing to synchro with. As far as extraneous monsters go, we are playing 3 Zeridius. This searches Sanctuary because Sanctuary is so key to this deck. He is really important, and it's not like he's bad either. Like, because what you can do is if you already have Sanctuary and you have Hyperion on board, you can just ditch this, search Sanctuary to hold, and then you can banish this guy off of Hyperion to get a pop. So he's like good either way. I like Zeridius. I think he's a good card. And in the same vein as Zeridius, I play Hecatrice. I know not everyone plays Hecatrice or likes Hecatrice, but I like him. I think it's cool. If you were to cut a card down, I think this was 41. You could cut Hecatrice. No, this is exactly 40. That's right. This deck is 100 is exactly 40. You could cut Hecatrice. And I didn't realize it until like just now. I'm playing Honest, which is fine. Honest is a good card, but these could also be Archlord Christias if you want to play Archlord Christia. And I didn't think about that until just now because I remember I was writing down the stuff for this deck, and I remember writing down Archlord Christia, but I guess I just forgot to write it to put it there. So, but yeah, I play 2 Honest apparently, and that's it for the main deck monsters. I like this lineup. Agents haven't really gotten anything new since Uranus. So this is kind of where the deck is at as far as monster wise. There is some fairy stuff you can play, but I like this stuff the best so far. Moving into the spells and traps, of course you have to play 3 Sanctuary. There's no getting around it. You have to play it because the deck is reliant on it. Luckily, this is one of those field spell decks where you can actually search the field spell using a monster. So Sanctuary. Also, Sanctuary is really cool because it says battle damage inflicted to the controller of a fairy monster becomes 0, so really cool. So you don't take damage involving fairy monsters. The really cool thing about Sanctuary is it recently got a retrain in the form of Sanctum of Parshath, which we also play because it's 3 more copies of Sanctuary. So we're playing 9 Sanctuaries in the deck, which is really nice. Sanctum of Parshath says, this card name becomes Sanctuary in the sky while face up on the field or in the graveyard. Fairy monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense, which, if you recall, this guy's 27, he becomes a 3k beater while this is on the field. Very nice. Then it says, set spells and traps can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. Very nice. Once per turn, you can target a total of 3 fairy monsters and or counter traps with different names in your graveyard. Place them on top of the deck in any order. So if you have some dead stuff and you want to get it back, potentially a Master Hyperion, whatever, and you want that back, maybe you need to search a Sanctuary, or you need to search the next card I'm about to show you, you can put it back on top of your deck. The next card is 3 Valhalla. I feel like if you're playing fairies, you have to play Valhalla. This just allows you to special summon your fairies from your hand if you control no monsters. And I don't believe Hyperion has a restriction on him. No, it's a you can. So, and this is the old print. This is a first ed structure deck version, so his text is a little older. I believe that's the first ever printing of him. So yeah, so it's a you can, it's not must first be. So that's very nice, so you can just spit him out using Valhalla, but yeah. Next up is just 2 one-ofs. Foolish Burial and Monster Reborn. I felt that these were pretty simple for the deck. Foolish Burial basically to feed Hyperion, and Monster Reborn to get back stuff like Uranus or Jupiter or Venus. So just some stuff to get some stuff back. I really didn't feel like the deck needed more monsters. You could play more monsters if you wanted to. And because this is Sanctuary in the Sky, if you don't know, Sanctuary in the Sky does have a counter trap, and that is Divine Punishment. This is the counter trap I opted to play. It's fine. You're able to recycle it, which is really nice, so you don't have to worry about running out. And if you really need to get it, like if you're able to hold the board and you have Sanctum and you already activated it, you can just keep getting it back. It says when a spell trap card or monster effect is activated while Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, negate it, and if you do, destroy it. So it's a pretty simple counter trap. It's a very easy one. It's the stereotypical, when an effect is activated, negate the effect, destroy it. It's the counter trap that a million archetypes have. So yeah. And that is it for the main deck. I like this deck. I've played it online a little bit. If you saw, I actually played it in Yu-Go Duos. So if you want to watch Yu-Go Duos, the episode where I play this, I use it as my bad deck. I will put an iCard up here where you can go check that out. So moving into the extra, we are of course playing Herald. It's a level 4 synchro that this deck can make fairly easily, I feel. And it's a negate, it's a banish everything sent to the graveyard. It's fine, it's a good card. We're also playing a Stardust Charge Warrior for a draw. It's a level 6. Black Rose for the board wipe. And then for our level 8s, we're playing Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, Berserker of the Tenyi, again for a monster banish. And because we have the access to a Dark Tuner, we're able to play stuff like Beals and Void Ogre. This being an older deck, it is pretty easy to end your turn without anything on the board or anything in your hand. So making a Void Ogre where you get to negate a spell and trap while you have no cards in your hand, as well as negating another spell and trap while you have Sanctuary using Divine Punishment, you can do some pretty cool stuff. This deck can actually spit out some fairly big negates. You can actually do some pretty cool stuff with this, because I believe you are able to make both of these in one turn. It's not the most common thing, but I believe you can do it. I think I've done it before. So like I mentioned, there are 2 cards missing. This is the Cashapp Synchro. It doesn't offer a lot for the deck, but you can play it. But the card that really does offer a lot to the deck is the Cashapp Link, and I unfortunately couldn't get my hands on a copy before the video. No one at Locals had it, and if they did, I forgot to pick it up, but I wasn't looking for it at the time, and I also forgot to order it. So unfortunately I don't have a copy, but I should be getting one soon. But what the Cashapp Link does is it adds either Sanctuary in the Sky or a card that specifies Sanctuary in the Sky in its text from your deck to your hand. So it actually, and it's a Link 3 fairy. It is fairly easy to summon in this deck as well because you have Venus. So this deck actually can spit that card out, and it works out fairly well for the deck. I enjoy it. I enjoy playing it with that card. I think it's a very good addition to the deck, and if you're gonna play Agents, I think you should get your hands on a copy of at least the Cashapp Link. But yeah, you can also play Nightmares. You can play Nightmares if you want to play Nightmares. You can play basically any Link monster you want. You can play whatever you want. The only thing I think is mandatory almost is Beals and Void Ogre. I feel like these two, like Beals, Void Ogre, and Herald, are really the key players here. You can even play Needle Fiber and do Needle Fiber combo in this deck if you wanted to. You can do a bunch of stuff with Agents because they have the ability to, and they have a tuner that summons itself, as well as the ability to spit out another card using Valhalla. It's super easy to do stuff like that, even though it does take more cards from your hand than the typical Needle Fiber combo. But with that said, that is my Agent deck. I've had fun playing this. I enjoyed it. I built it for fun, and I've had fun playing it at the times I've played it. It's a fun little janky deck that's not the best thing in the world, and that's fine. Agents haven't been the best thing in the world for a very long time. It's just one of those decks that used to be a top in a box, and now it's this little deck that's just hanging around waiting for something to come out. And hopefully we do see a structure deck R, kind of like the Dragoonity structure deck, kind of like the Lord of the Lair structure deck, and the Light Fairy structure deck. Hopefully we see that for Agents. I think one of those would do Agents very well. So tell me what you guys thought about this deck in the comments below. I know it wasn't a full deck profile because I was missing a couple cards, but I hope you guys can forgive that. Tell me what you guys thought in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know if there was anything super crazy that I was missing for this deck that I just didn't know about. And down in the description, once again, there are some links where if you feel like supporting the channel directly, you can, as well as joining the Discord where we have tournaments every Friday. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.